Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Kathie J, and on today's edition of the Kathie J Show, have you ever said to yourself, I'm fine, and you know you're not fine? Well, then today's show is for you. I want to introduce to you my friend Rebeccah Silence, the human behind the healer. Rebeccah Silence, thank you for joining me today.
I love you so
I love
much.
you.
I'm so grateful to be here.
So Rebeccah is an author. She is she's a healer. You came to me. You were one of my first guests on the Kathie J Show when I had the TV show here in Denver on Channel 3, and it was awesome. You took a chance on me, and I didn't know anything about you, but you completely turned my life around with just the power you bring. So let's get into it. Let's get into who you are. Okay, so was there a calling that brought you to the Rebeccah Silence that we've all come to know?
Oh my goodness.
Is that your life?
Yeah. I grew up thinking, why aren't people better to each other?
Yeah.
Why aren't we careful with each other's hearts? And I wanted to understand human behavior as soon as I entered college. I'm a music therapist, moved from upstate New York to Colorado, working at Fort Logan, the state psychiatric hospital. And while I was 20 and living on those grounds and working there, I realized nothing's wrong with people. They don't know how to manage their emotions. And I decided I would become an expert on human behavior. So I am
Wait, stop real fast. I've never learned this part about you. You were in your early 20s living in a psychiatric hospital?
Yeah, because I was a music therapy intern.
And
we had to live on the grounds, and I worked on every unit, and I was devastated and heartbroken. None of these people were crazy. They didn't know how to manage their emotions or their lives.
So you would just start playing music. They would hang out and gravitate towards you. You would get to know them a little and realize there's really nothing wrong with you. You just don't know the 1, 2, 3s of. And you know, as a mom, that is one of the hardest things we have as a responsibility is to teach our children how to work through emotions.
Right.
So,
not understand
Work
through it.
Work through it. Go through the pain to get to the other side. Okay, so you learned that in your early 20s, and then you were like, now I'm going to do this for a living.
Well, then I got pregnant and was like, this is the perfect time to go back to school, get my master's in counseling, and actually become an expert on human behavior. And what's interesting is, as a therapist, they literally tell you you can't help people heal. You can help them manage and cope.
Wow.
And I'm not knocking therapy,
Yeah.
but there's so much more than just understanding our patterns, understanding our pain. And we all want to be free, and we all want love. So what I've created is the practice of emotional healing, and what I'm about is you getting 100% of the love you want and being fully expressed and free, because what is more important?
Now, that all sounds like awesome, and it sounds like rainbows and kitty cats, and we've been down this road before.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that goes into getting to the other side of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Now, tell me how your journey was. I mean, you said that you grew up with pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you learned to process that first? You were your first patient?
I'm always client zero. I have to live what the hell I teach.
You do.
So people ask me all the time, where does the name Rebeccah Silence come from? My first marriage was domestic violence, and I grew up in domestic violence. And so even with a master's degree in counseling and a 4.0 grade point average, I ended up repeating the same patterns. So when I tell you, you do not need a breakdown to break through, I freaking mean it. It's about recognizing, wait a minute, who I became to survive, what I understood about love and family. Those patterns are going to repeat until I decide to be someone I haven't met yet, to create a new experience. So I ended up with a 2-year-old getting out of that domestic violence marriage and really deciding who I wanted to be, and then blazed a trail with a private practice, teaching people emotional healing. And then I'm also a cancer survivor. So my clients, I've had over 1,000 success stories, learn how to use their past, use their pain to their advantage. And I had to live it first, because being pregnant, diagnosed with cancer, given a 5% chance to live.
Yeah.
I literally heard God say to me, so who are you going to be now? Because it's easy to be the best of you when you're a pillar of a community, you have a 6-month wait list, you sell out every retreat, every event, you coach every CEO and their team.
Yeah.
Who are you going to be now? And so I had to live what I teach and let go of achievement, being what I thought was the most important.
Mm.
What I did being the most important thing. And it was about, I am valuable just because I breathe, and who I'm being is what matters.
So, Rebecca, you went the route of do this with my job, counsel, and you said you were counseling CEOs, you were doing it.
Yeah.
Then when all of it gets taken from you, which
Yeah.
it does in this life, I'm telling you right now.
You get it,
You
Kathie.
will get hit. At one point in your life, you are going to get hit. And who you are is going to determine how you stand up from getting hit. And whether it's cancer, whether it's bankruptcy, whether it's, a death of someone that was very important in your life, whether it's, losing a house, a job, you are going to get hit. And so if you don't know how to deal with it, it hits you back hard and then you never recover.
Well, right. And I like to say it this way. So many people will tell you life's happening for you. I disagree. I say life doesn't happen to you or for you. It's just happening. And then you get to decide who you're going to be.
Yeah. Like you said, some people, they get survival mechanisms. Talk about that. Like, do we even know we have them?
Here's the deal. I am trained to diagnose you, and I won't, because not a damn thing is wrong with you, right? I want us to all understand we're all bipolar. We all have a survival self, right? The you created to not get in trouble, to fit in, to please, or to be the rebel because everybody else was pleasing and good, and you didn't want that. We all created this persona that isn't inauthentic, but if it doesn't feel good, it's because it's not who you are yet. And then nobody knows who they really are. We don't wake up one day and go, oh, I know who I really am. We wake up one day and we know we're surviving, and we don't have to keep living that way anymore, right? So what I help people do is design the best of who they are, and create their lives on their terms, and use their emotions and their past and every part of their story to their advantage.
We're speaking today with Rebeccah Silence. Now you know why I love her so much. Rebecca, you talk about, that, we created this persona stuff. How do we know that that's actually an issue? It's not just stress of our life.
If you feel exhausted, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like no matter how hard you try, you can't do enough and you just can't find fulfillment or satisfaction, you're living out of alignment with the truth of who you are. You are in survival. We are not supposed to be stressed or overwhelmed or suffering. We learned all that, and we can unlearn it.
Yeah. So, because I'm in that mode right now, so I think what a lot of people in my position, there is something off. And we blame it on the age or, the kids and we're sleepy or this or that. Why do you think that someone like me or someone out there that goes, I'm fine. It's just, this is my new normal. What can you unlock for us that's going to help change all that? Like open a floodgate?
Let me break it down.
Why don't you break it down?
So many of you, if you're dissatisfied, how you feel now in your life is how you felt growing up. We don't know how to create possibility beyond what we saw, and we don't know how to feel better than how we felt growing up. So we're limited by everyone around us in childhood being the example of what we think our ceiling is. And so what I want us to understand is just because you haven't seen it done before doesn't mean you can't have it. And Kathie, you're a perfect example of this, right? You've revolutionized what's possible in your family. You're what I call the generational healer in the family. And here's the deal. You didn't ask to be the generational healer in your family. But if you're like, why aren't we doing more? Why aren't we better? Why can't we be happier, have more money, have more success in this family? You're the one that's supposed to model it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you have pressure like you have to heal everyone in your family, but you get to be a different example.
Yes.
So many of us are limited because we're trying to fit into the rules the way we grew up.
Yes.
And we don't even realize that's what we're doing. And I say all the time, you can't break the mold if you're trying to fit into the mold.
Yes.
So you've got to go, listen, that mold, I'm not making anybody wrong in my family. We're not here to blame anybody.
Right.
But if you want more and you can see it, you're not crazy, but no one is going to give you the, okay, now is your time. You have my approval. You have the permission, right? When I started a radio show and a private pay, private practice in Utica, New York, 17 years ago, everybody thought I was crazy. There were no coaches yet. Nobody was private pay. There was no, therapy on the radio.
Right.
Everybody I knew told me it was a terrible idea. And I was like, oh, you just wait.
You just wait.
Now there's 26 life coaches that I trained and certified in that community. I'm still on the radio there 15 years later.
Yes.
And my work has reached millions across the globe.
Yes, it has.
And no woman in my family had ever financially supported themselves before me. No woman. And I come from
Give me some.
a long line of powerful, badass women.
Yes, right.
But I hadn't seen it.
Right.
And then I find myself a single mom going bankrupt. And I'm like, the school counseling salary isn't going to cut it.
No.
And I've got to figure out something different.
Yeah.
And I just want us to give ourselves permission to be selfish and to want more, because you want more because you care about making a difference. You're not going to get more and not leave people better and be generous.
I feel though that so many of us feel that we have nothing left to give to ourselves. That there is nothing left. How do I how do I even know what I want?
Mm-hmm. That is the hardest question I will ever ask you.
It just gave me chills to even ask it.
What do you want? So I'll give you 2 hacks, Kathie, okay? And for everybody
She is the queen of hacks. She is the queen of hacks.
So if you know what you don't want, you know what you do want.
True. I'm good at saying what I don't want.
So make a list of what you're tired of, what you want to leave in 2025 and not take with you into another year. Because the thing is, patterns repeat.
Yeah.
Until you heal, interrupt, and break through them. So if you know what you don't want, what's the opposite? And then what do you want for everybody else? Because that's really what you want for you.
Yeah.
If I want you to have peace, I want peace.
Right.
If I want you to have a nanny, if I want you to have a job where you get to work 4 days a week instead of
that's really
7
you
days
saying
a week.
that that's what you want. That's your inner self talking.
What you want for other people is really what you want for you. So the sooner you face that, the sooner you get to move through what's in the way and conquer it and get it.
Okay. So people that one of the biggest things you told me, because I told you at one point that I couldn't, and you said, do you wake up in the middle of the night? And I said, yes. And you said, what are you thinking about? And I said, a whole thing. And you were like, that's what you need to work on. Like, do you remember talking to me about that?
Yeah.
I think that's a good point for people to hear again. Like, maybe that, like, you think you're fine, but you have restless nights. Stuff is waking you up in the middle of the night. That's your emotions, right?
Yeah. Well, it is. And if you think you have nothing else to give, it's because you've probably never given to you. You've focused on being so other-oriented and getting your value from giving to everybody else, making sure there's no conflict, making sure nobody's upset. But what if the goal doesn't have to be, because we have all been through enough, right? We've all been through enough. So if you're getting woken up at night, there's a couple things. You're absolutely having your spirit or God or both say to you, now is your time. What is important to you? And I don't want you to have to go through a breakdown or a crisis to take yourself and your life back.
Right.
What is keeping you up at night is fear and obligation, and it's a wake-up call that your life isn't yours.
She hurts.
I love you enough to tell you the truth.
Yes, right.
It's time to come back to life.
Yes, it is.
Right? And to take your life back without blowing it all up, without creating a bunch of drama, just going, wait a minute, I matter too.
Yeah.
Because you do.
You do.
And if you're running on fumes, you're not that great to everybody that you think you're great
at
for.
all. I was running on fumes until I had heart failure, and then I was no good to anybody. And thank gosh I'm still here.
Right.
So
well,
yes,
you had that breakdown to break through moment,
and that was not even the biggest breakdown. There's been more breakdowns. Like again, the life will hit you. Yeah. But I want one of my favorite things about you, because you are a therapist, and a lot of people would spend a lot of money for you to break them down in 2 years and then finally give them an answer in the 3rd year. But you don't do that. You don't believe people are even broken.
No.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, nothing is wrong with you, and you are not broken. I was just speaking at my daughter's school to the 5th grade class last week, and I asked them, raise your hand if you think something's wrong with you. It's unanimous.
Right.
And even when I've talked to kindergartners, they already think something's wrong with them and nothing is wrong with them. We're just trained that our emotions are threatening, our needs are threatening, and that we shouldn't want too much. And it's insanity because we get to live our lives and have desire and experience pleasure and not just go through the motions.
Amen.
Right?
Amen, girl.
And so what I'm doing with people in one immediate relief breakthrough coaching session with me, you give me 90 minutes, I give you 3 to 5 years worth of therapy and clarity. I will quantum leap you, and you will have a spiritual identity up level, and you will know the difference between your survival self, and you will meet your healed self and begin the process of designing who that is in one session.
Yeah, I think you did that for me, like to the point where I've been cool for a couple years. Like I've been like I think I know who I am. Yeah. I just feel like you get stagnant again, and I think that's because it's life and you're supposed to.
Well, you've got to keep growing. You've got to keep striving, right? I'm the coach that has an army of coaches, and I have plenty of clients that work with me regularly, weekly, for years. And it's not that we're ever working on the same thing because we aren't. We're creating what's the next dream you're going to create.
Yeah.
What's the next possibility for your family that you're going to model? What's the next breakthrough that has you experiencing more joy, more peace, more love, more fun, more pleasure? So I always joke, I'll deal with the darkest corners of your mind, your heart, your body, and your soul, but I will give you more bliss and more of a blast of an experience of life than you can imagine.
We're speaking today with Rebeccah Silence. She is a life coach, a therapist, an author, a good friend, a mom. You do it all. I'm missing one in there. Motivational speaker.
Yep. Business Insider named me the
right.
top emotional health and relationship coach in the world in 2022.
Say that again.
Business Insider named me the world's top emotional health and relationship coach in the world in 2022.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I think there's another big one in there. Yeah, right. Okay, so how is you say it. I'm hearing you and everything sounds amazing. In 90 minutes, I can do this. How do you do it? How are you different from the traditional teaching? How does that happen?
So we go way beyond the understanding. And I don't think anything is wrong with you, and I don't treat symptoms. We get to the root of the pattern you're in. So I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible, which doesn't mean it's easy, okay? But imagine it like this. You have thoughts, you have feelings, and you have emotions, right? So I have a client that I'm working with now that came to me devastated after a tragic divorce, feeling like a shell of herself, right? Which so many of you can relate to, whether it was a divorce or a diagnosis or a betrayal or a financial issue or whatever it is, right? Imagine a time where you didn't feel like yourself, you felt like a shell, you were going through the motions. So she's coming to me and she thinks the problem is her abusive ex-husband.
Yeah.
Right? And that she just gave to him 25 years in the marriage and that's the problem. Well, no. The problem is she is feeling insignificant. She's feeling invisible. And yes, it goes back to childhood. She created as an adult the same experience she had growing up. She was the lost child in the family. So it doesn't matter that she's literally the mayor of her town. It doesn't matter that she's made millions and millions of dollars. Doesn't matter that she has 3 kids that are amazing. She still feels invisible. So what I'm doing with my work is I'm like, well, what's the emotion underneath it that we have to heal and clear to change the feeling, which is creating the experience you're having. So if she feels invisible, her experience every day is I'm invisible.
Yes.
And all of the accolades and awards and being a public figure and an elected official and all of it didn't matter. So we're able to go, all right, how does she want to feel? What experience does she want to have? And what I teach with the practice of emotional healing is there's only 5 emotions. So many people will tell you there are 80, 100. I'm not making any other philosophy wrong, but I'm telling you what I created, the practice of emotional healing, works and will heal you fast and is easy to understand. So I teach that there's only 5 emotions: anger, grief, fear, joy, and excitement. That's it. Anger, fear, grief, joy, and excitement. So this is the bottom line. You all have a fight, a flight, and a freeze.
Amen.
Side of yourself.
Yes.
None of that is who you are. That is your survival self. And you all have a favorite, fight, flight, or freeze. And you play out the other 2 with the people in your lives, right? So like when I'm doing corporate coaching, It's all family coaching, Kathie.
Really?
Oh my God, they're all not upset with the person they think they're upset with. You're my sister.
Right.
You're my jerk
They're
grandparent.
actually, their
You're
family
my
is their
abusive
coworkers.
babysitter or the mean teacher
That's
that I had.
crazy.
Right? It's all family dynamics, all relationships.
Okay. So then you break it down to you felt like an invisible child. Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of therapists would be like, well, now you've broken through. You can blame your parents.
No.
Thank you.
So the mission is healing. The cure is self-responsibility. My definition of healing is freedom. Okay? You deserve to be free. So with the practice of emotional healing, here's the secret. You've got to have a healthy, healed relationship with your fight, with your flight, with your freeze, and with anger, fear, grief, joy, and excitement. And then you get to be and experience and create from this healed place that is so magnetic. You're going to feel like a sorcerer because people start coming to you. Opportunities start coming to you because you're so clear and you're so aligned and you're so high vibration.
Some people might not even understand what you just meant, but there are days when everything feels good inside of you and everything's on point and you're doing everything that's meant to be. And that's what you're talking about. You could have that every day.
Regardless of circumstances,
gathered your
Kathie.
emotions the right way.
So here's the deal. Thank God for cancer. I'm not saying I am grateful for it, but I am so grateful for who I became. I teach that you can have joy and excitement as the rule you live by, regardless of circumstances. And that's the point.
You should.
And you can be love and you can experience love regardless of circumstances. So many of you are waiting for the right dress size, the right amount of money, the right amount of orgasms, the right amount of your kids getting the right awards, or your clients singing your praises, or hiring you, or your team never going away. You need the externals to be a certain way for you to be okay. And I'm here to say, what if real freedom is you don't need anything outside of you to be different for you to be okay? And you can be the best of you and you can be joyful and excited and love no matter what.
There's some people that probably don't even understand even the concept of being able to change their emotions.
Well, it isn't about changing them. It's about embracing them. They're just the weather. So anger, fear, and grief, and joy and excitement are healthy and healed and never about anyone or anything. They're just your humanity. But we learned growing up, certain emotions are okay, certain emotions aren't.
Yes.
Saying certain things is okay. Saying other things isn't. And here's the deal. You're an adult now. Your life is yours. If the boat's going to rock, let it rock.
Yeah.
Say the thing. Feel the thing. Be vulnerable, because that is what we want and need, especially in the age of AI, where you don't know what's real, right? And you've been betrayed and disappointed and neglected and through it enough. So the more you take on your relationship with you and honor and respect and take care of you, the more you attract people that do that for them, which means they get to show up better for you.
Yeah. I will say this. There are some people out there that are just on a level. And you're right, when I get around them, I feel the vibration where I want to come up to their level. And I mean, to be able to have that every day, it's like a magnet that can really attract people when you're like totally who you should be doing your mission.
Well, and there's no should, right? There's just, I'm going to be who I am and not pick and choose where and when that's okay.
Right.
And Kathie, you are one of my favorite people, genuinely. Your vibe is high. If it ever feels like your vibe is low, it's because you lowered yourself to meet the,
whoever I was chilling with.
Top low vibe around you.
Right.
Instead of holding your own and letting the room rise to meet you.
Wow. Yeah,
Let
I always
the
feel
room
like I
rise
have
to
to.
meet
I have
you.
to lower to the room. All right. So obviously
Not
I'm
after
going to be at this
today,
retreat. And obviously I'm going to be at this retreat.
Don't tease me.
Okay,
because my
obviously
God,
I'm going to
I
be at
want
this
you
retreat.
there.
I would love to be. Okay, so it's happening in Breckenridge. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yes.
And it's going to be November 12th, 13th, 14th.
So my birthday is November 12th.
Ah!
I will be 45.
Happy
So
birthday.
I have an Own Your Voice retreat for the women in leadership, for every woman out there that wants to heal and be the best version of herself for herself and everybody she serves and cares about. The Own Your Voice retreat is November 14th, 15th, 16th in Breckenridge, Colorado. And it's less than the price of 2 single sessions with me for 3 days with me.
Oh, wow.
And you get personalized breakthrough work and you learn my entire 7-step practice of emotional healing, and you will leave with clarity about your next steps and how you want to live your life and the possibility you want to create. So if you want to meet you for real, without a breakdown, without a crisis, and if you want to emerge as the best of you, super-proofed, with clarity about where you're taking your life, and if you want to fall in love with being a woman and have a next level relationship of relationships with women, because so many of you don't trust women.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yes.
We have all been burned.
Yes.
And so you will learn how to trust yourself and other women differently, not in a position to be taken for granted.
I feel like you just gave a secret away out there that a lot of women feel they don't trust other women.
I just have
because
to say
they've been
it.
burned by other women.
We all have.
My bullies growing up were women. Like, so it's funny. I was going to talk about that on the air, but because it's Suicide Week, and I just wanted to be like, like these women were so mean to me growing up that they, they pushed, and so, thank goodness I had some foundation. And I think that's just, we're all a lot more powerful. That little saying that Winnie the Pooh always says, you're braver than you think, you're stronger than you know, it's so true. It's just, we always feel, are we brought up in a society where we just want to blame?
Yes, that's the whole fight.
Ding, ding,
right?
ding.
We want to blame, we want to shut down, and we want to run away instead of facing how powerful we are and getting to experience it. And I'd love to say there is nothing more powerful than a fully expressed and free, unsilent woman. And I would love for all the women to experience that, like the truth of who they are unleashed. And for all the men, every gender, every leader, you deserve to meet and fully express the best of you without worrying about, is the world going to be able to handle it?
Yes.
Because you can't handle not being you.
Right. No. I think that the world wants both men and women to shut up. They want women to shut up when we get too, emotional, or when we want to do this. They want men to shut up. They don't want men to be emotional either. I think the world prefers a man that's just silent and keeps moving. And that's not healthy for the men in our lives.
Well, and I do a lot of couples work.
Do you? Yes.
I do. Because I want kids to have healed parents, and I want people to have their dream of love beyond just what they saw growing up.
Yeah.
And with men, I'm always telling them, I'm so sorry, because women want you to be sensitive, and then they freak out when you are.
Yes.
And they don't know what to do with you.
That is
and it's
so
like,
true.
And so every time I say that, these men are like, thank you. I feel so seen.
I finally came home and told her something, and she got mad at me.
Right? Like, I'm crying, and now the woman doesn't know how to handle it.
Right.
But like 2 seconds ago, I was too rigid and
too tough, right.
Yes.
That's
stoic, right? But my God, the world can handle your sensitivity. And instead of worrying about other people not getting uncomfortable, what if you worried about you're not going to be uncomfortable for anyone for any reason? And if they're uncomfortable, that's their job. That's their work. It's not about you. Stop trying to make sure everybody's comfortable.
That's the biggest mistake. Especially for moms and caretakers, and always trying. So let's go back to your retreat.
Yeah.
Okay, so the retreat, we got 3 days. I think it started at 2:00 on Friday, and we're out of there.
Check-in starts at 2 p.m. Friday.
Because you got something happening at 5:00 that night.
We start at 4.
4?
We start at 4, and then we go until 2:00 on Sunday, and you will be held. So many women are just everything to everyone, right? You're the glue. Now it's your turn to be held, and it's your turn to exhale, put it all down, and connect to your deepest truths, your deepest desires, and where you can't keep living the way you've been living, you get to leave it there.
The scariest part is being vulnerable.
It's the best part. It's the sexiest, most
Where's the scariest
powerful.
part?
It is
It
scary.
is, yes.
But what I can promise you is I make it as worth it and easy and simple as possible. I always say healing with me is like falling in love. That's how it feels. When you take on healing with me, it's going to feel like falling in love. And that's how it should feel.
I love that. And you also are offering everyone a chance to get to know you. You're offering them the 10. Yes.
So I have a gift. If you find me on Instagram at Rebeccah Silence, and Rebeccah has an H, REBECCAH, just DM me one-liners and I will send you a beautiful document with 10 one-liners, conversation starters, right? Because here's me. I got nothing to prove. I got nothing to lose. I'm going to say the thing, right? And if there's any part of you that wants to know how to do that, I will give you 10 conversation starters to deal with any hard conversation or difficult or vulnerable conversation that you know you need to have to get closer to the people you love and lead. And I will teach you how to use that line at home and at work to just up level your joy and your impact like you can't even believe.
It's the words. Words
It's the
matter.
words. I'm going to help you speak up and stand in your power, and I'm going to give you the words you need that matter most.
And it
in
can
the
be
moments you
anything
need
to a mom that we need to talk to
Yeah.
to a boss. To
You know your kid is lying to you.
Yes.
Right? How are we going to handle this? I love you too much to not tell you I'm concerned. Right? Like I've given
Is that what you say?
Oh, sure. I love you too much to not tell you I'm concerned. I can't make you tell me the truth. But what I can tell you is I can be there for you, and there's nothing we can't handle together. There's nothing you could say to
Kids
me
need to hear that
to make
more and
me
more.
love you less.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with you. And if you're not going to tell me, it's going to come out at some point. So can we just be in this together because you're not alone, right? Like I'm going to teach you how to have these conversations, right?
And what you're doing is you're also going to teach your kid how to walk their emotions through that problem.
And how to not be afraid to tell their truth.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to pick and choose what truths are acceptable or what people can handle or not. You don't need to be emotionally saying yes to emotional cancer that doesn't serve you, that's going to spread.
Yes. She's right. She's right. We're speaking today with Rebeccah Silence. She's an author. She's a therapist. She's a couples therapist. Now, this is your roadmap. This is your...
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now, tell everyone about this book.
So I wrote Coming Back to Life, a roadmap to heal from pain to create the life you want right after I came out of cancer. And it is how to use any trauma to your advantage. I define trauma as heartbreak, and how to meet and design that healed version of yourself, that free, fully expressed, highest vibration, most powerful, most beautiful you've got to create. And so I use my story that's insane to connect you to your story.
Yeah.
And I give you the fundamentals of the work I do and exercises at the end of every chapter. This is one best self-love, best self-worth in the world. It's a phenomenal book that was given to me by what I call God. I can't really take all the credit. I wrote it listening to Lil Wayne radio. I would go to a hotel.
I love that.
I've never told you that before.
No, you haven't.
3 days at a time, I'd be at the hotel listening to Lil Wayne, and I'd be like, oh my, okay. And we just went for it because I never know how long I have.
That's
right?
awesome.
And I wanted people to get this book. I'm so proud of it. It's changed so many lives. You can read this with your partner and do the exercises with your partner as well.
I love that. Fear, anger, grief,
Joy, excitement. You get to have all of them. None of them are good or bad or right or wrong.
You just have to push through all. I mean, like
It's
you
not
want.
about pushing through. It's about just letting them flow.
It's the hardest thing in the world. All of us we just want to stop it, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
the floodgates burst
But
and we
that's
open.
what's so hard, right? And
It
the
is.
emotions aren't about what you think they're about. They're just there. So if you won't let yourself feel grief, for example, right? And we don't talk enough about grieving.
We don't.
People that are still alive. It's not just about people that have died, right? It's about jobs we've had.
Yeah.
People that we've had to let go of because it wasn't healthy,
Relationships. Yeah.
right?
Right.
So, if I won't grieve, life's going to give me a lot to be sad about.
Right.
If I won't be with my anger and just own it instead of the fight, taking it out on people,
Yeah.
life's going to give me a lot to be angry about.
Yes.
Right? If I won't be with fear, life's going to give me a lot to remind me I got a lot of fear. If I won't be with joy, I'm going to see how not happy I am.
Yes.
Right? Same with excitement. So the emotions are gold. They are your friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're in fight, flight, freeze, all you can know is underneath that is a stuck emotion every time. And it will free you. And if you don't know how, that's okay. That's where you come to my retreat.
That's where we come to
That's
the
where
retreat.
you call me and we do some work together.
Yep, that's true. Okay, so what are you hoping that everyone walks away with today after listening to you?
I want you to take your life back. And I don't want you to wait for a crisis or a breakdown to do that. I want you to pay attention to what do you want? What do you need? How do you feel? And to know it's safe to be with those truths.
Because that's where you're supposed to be. That's why
Yeah.
you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I want you to love yourself and I want you to love your life. I want your kids to have healed parents.
Yeah.
I want you to get your dream of love.
Yep.
And I want you to be careful with people's hearts.
That's where you started the conversation today. Careful with people's hearts.
Be careful with people's hearts. My God.
Yeah, no,
Please.
we just throw them away.
Oh, people are
Especially with
terrible
social
to each
media
other
today,
right
we're allowed
now.
to just throw things away. Rebeccah Silence, thank you so much for joining us today. RebeccahSilence.com. Now, that's where you can sign up for the retreat. RebeccahSilence.com.
Yes, and I have theunsilentwoman.com.
Yes, she's got a new one out.
Theunsilentwoman.com and RebeccahSilence.com. And go to my Instagram. I'm everywhere.
She's everywhere. But if you put in one-liners, DM her one-liners,
Yes, we'll
she'll
give
be
you
more than
that
happy
gift.
to send you those one-liners to get
Yes.
you through the day. Healing is possible. Thank you, Rebecca.
I love
I think,
you.
you know what? You might be the thing that why do you always show up at the perfect time in my life? I tell you what, it's meant to be.
I'm here.
It's meant.
I
She's
love
like,
you.
I know, it just happens. Thank you, RebeccahSilence.com. And you know what? You might see me right there. There's not a lot of seats, like 40 women, right?
Yep.
You'll be
Yep.
hugging me.
Yep, we got about 10 spots left, so scoop it up today. And for
Yeah.
everybody watching, if you get your spot for the Own Your Voice retreat, use code HEAL, lowercase HEAL, for $500 off.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm going to give you $500 off. Just use code HEAL.
That's huge.
It's
That's
huge.
huge. All right, excellent. Thank you. And again, it's like cheaper than 2 sessions with you.
It is. For 3 days that
Rebe-
you'll never forget.
RebeccahSilence.com. Thank you, girl.
Love you.
Good to see you. I love you too.
Kathie J.